Welcome, friends. LostScarf here, and it's time for Star Wars. Okay, so it's time for us to watch together Episode 5, Revenge of The Empire Strikes Back. Jesus. So we're watching The Empire Strikes Back. This is the 5th episode of Star Wars, originally called Star Wars 2. For a little bit, it was called Star Wars 2 before Lucas was like, oh, hey, we can make this a different kind of thing. And surprisingly, apparently it was not well reviewed for its time, but now it's considered one of the greatest movies of all time, so holy crap. Budget. So they spent $18 million, not adjusting for inflation, not even gonna try. And it made $582 million, not adjusting for inflation. That's how much money it made. Adjusting for inflation with the different versions and the special editions and all that stuff, it makes under $1 billion. Still pretty good. Star Wars is apparently, when you adjust for inflation, the highest grossing one out of the entire Star Wars catalog. So good for that movie. So the first thing we was talking about is what do we remember, since I've seen it before. I don't remember anything. Like, I know the beats that happened, but not all of them. I know we're going to start, I remember correctly, we start on the ice planet, and then we end on a gas planet. And somewhere in the middle, Yoda's going to happen. And somewhere in the middle, bad things happen with Han and Leia. And we meet the only black guy in the entire movie, isn't it? Like, Billy D. Effin Williams. Lando. Is he really the only black guy? Lando's the only black dude. Holy crap, yeah. So we meet and he's the one you can't trust. Oof. Lucas. Oof. Alright. Yeah, and everybody loves this movie. I don't remember why. I just know everyone likes it. It's probably paced better than the first movie for sure. And yeah, I'd be just spoiling things, because for the original trilogy, I'm more worried about spoiling things, because this is something that probably people haven't seen. This is one of those movies, because it's just so old, and maybe we're getting someone to finally see this movie. So let's just watch the damn movie, I think. Yeah, let's just watch the movie. There's going to be more to say after the movie than before the movie on this one. I actually don't know anything about the special effects change. Actually, I do, but I don't remember them compared to Star Wars 1. But I know there's a bunch of changes as well. But here we go. Let's check out the movie together, huh? It was good. We out. Because we always did. This is terrible. Alright, well, with the prequels we did. Alright, so 5 is good. Okay, yeah, the pacing's a hell of a lot better than 4. It's hard to consider the whole one of the best movies ever kind of thing. Now, just as a movie, well, as a second movie, it's probably one of the best sequels ever, for sure. That's not a hard thing to pull off, but it's a pretty damn good sequel, and it sets you up really nicely for the third movie. Like, this is a movie where there's not as much wasted fluff compared to the other movies, I think. Thinking about it, you could cut a good chunk out of the other Star Wars movies, and you'd have a tighter movie. Here, there's little bits here and there you could cut, but it's very nitpicky to do so. There's a lot going on here. There's things going on, like, there's a lot going on with Han and Leia, and that's a lot of character stuff going on. There's a lot of things going on with Luke, and his interaction with Leia and Han at points. And it's all building up. It's all going towards something. Everything is important in some way. Yeah, you really don't have much wasted fluff here. I'm thinking about it. Like, the asteroid's a bit drawn out, but at the same time, the asteroid also just shows you what kind of leader Vader is. No, just keep combing the damn thing. I don't care how many of us are dying. Just keep combing the damn place. Like, it shows you how reckless Vader is. And it just shows you how reckless Vader is and how much he doesn't actually care about anyone in the Empire. Because, like, you could say there's some fluff with just all the stuff with the men he keeps killing, but it also just shows how callous and how much he doesn't care about any of these men. Like, he just really enjoys choking people out. Like, it gives you character there. So, I don't know, like, that's good. The combat's good. Like, the whole duel going. And it's not like Revenge of the Sith either. Like, it's a 5-minute timer on this sword. Oh no, you have to move it around for it. Alright, like, there's like, the fight goes, Luke's doing okay, Luke's losing, Luke beats Vader for a moment, and then Luke just gets schooled the rest of that fight. And I think it just goes pretty well. Uh, it's just a good movie. I think it's a lot better. Who the hell directed this one? Because it wasn't Lucas, right? Let's find the wiki really quick. Like, Lucas was behind it all, but yeah, directed by Irvin Kershner, produced by Gary Kurtz, screenplay. Lucas is the story's by Lucas, so I guess he's like the overview of it all, but everyone else is working on it. The hell's Irvin Kershner? Oh, he did some James Bond. He did RoboCop 2. All right. Okay, so he did movies. He did some movies. But Empire Strikes Back, I suppose, is like the big one for him. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. RoboCop 2. Yeah, okay, yeah, this was his best movie. Okay. uh, okay. It's one hit wonder. Unless you really liked RoboCop 2. I don't remember RoboCop 2, so that doesn't help. It's good. Yeah, everything's better than RoboCop 3, unfortunately. Um there is that problematic scene with Han and Leia, though. There's that one scene that's problematic. Because he's just on her. And it's... I don't know. One other thing, though, is when she says, I love you, and he says, I know. I feel like he says that more out of spite, because he would have said it back at an earlier point if she just admitted it sooner. Because, like, I love you. I know! I freaking know! You said it sooner, we could have, been more romantic than, now, when I'm gonna die. Just all the Yoda stuff's good. I like all the Yoda stuff. I love the Yoda stuff. It's just the animatronics, or the puppetry going on, they're so good. And then Yoda just putting Luke in his place. Luke's like, it's impossible! Yoda just moves the ship out. He's like, oh, okay. I don't believe it. And that's why you failed. Bitch. Like... It's like you have this. It's a pretty good master student thing for a little bit. That's pretty good. Like there's some lessons in there, and there's just a lot of good in there. There's a lot of good going on in there. One thing to mention I didn't say about when it came just to backtrack on A New Hope. Watching A New Hope gives me new perspective on the Force Awakens. Gives me more new perspective on the Force Awakens because oh okay. Like, just seeing where they do the same thing and where they don't do the same thing and stuff like that. And it's like, alright, okay, I understand. And you see things like that when it comes to The Last Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. There are things in here. It's like, oh, hey, yeah, okay. There's things in here that are in here. So there's some echoes going on. And just influences. Influence is the best way to put it. It's going to be interesting when we get to The Last Jedi. Because... when I saw it the first time, I loved it, and I could not believe everyone was so pissed after, the next week. I'm like, oh, wow, everyone hated it? Whoa. I watched it 3 times. And we'll talk about that more when we get to The Last Jedi, but I'm really curious how I'm going to think about The Last Jedi when we get there again after seeing all these movies. Because, refreshing what the Star Wars movies are and everything, and then getting to that point where everyone feels like The Last Jedi just stepped on everything, and just because it straight up tells you let the past die, and is throwing away a bunch of things from the previous movies. So it'll be interesting to see what I think of it now after going through all these. As far as rankings go, yeah, it's number 1. It's just better paced than A New Hope. I like New Hope a lot, but it's better paced for sure. Just all the Yoda stuff's really good. The space fight's really good on Hoth. I like that one a lot. And we don't get as many aliens, of course. But we get some pretty good character moments and pretty good acting in general. It's just good. It's just good. It's better. It's better. It's good. Yeah. I get why it's so loved. I don't know if it's the best ever, but I get why it's such a loved movie. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. Was I surprised by the twist? Yeah, I did not expect Lando to wear Han's clothes. I didn't think he was going to fit those clothes so well. Random thing, because Family Guy brought it up. Family Guy's like, isn't it weird that Lando wears Han's clothing? No, it's not. He's been running around in that clothes prior. It's getting pretty sweaty. He needs to change. thinking in context, is that a great twist or not? And it had to be. You keep being told, you get told all these things. Vader killed Anakin. Vader was seduced by the dark side. The cheat, I guess, is when the Emperor says he's the son of Anakin. He's the son of Anakin Skywalker or whatever. He's the son of Skywalker. There we go. He says that. And yeah, that's a cheat right there. It's a bit of a cheat, but I guess the only reason why that's okay is either the Emperor is like, you're no longer Anakin Skywalker, so we're just going to treat you as two separate things, or just in case anyone's listening in, because his identity as Anakin Skywalker is meant to be a secret, so that. I think that's the only cheat in the movie when it comes to that identity is that. Because besides that, it just fits just fine. It's like, Vader killed Anakin. In a sense, he did. From a certain point of view. From a certain point of view, he did. Like, it's metaphorical. Like, that's what it is. Metaphorically, he killed him. And, like, I'm just glad Obi-Wan didn't go, like, yeah, he was really jealous of me all the time. I don't get it. Like, I thought of him as, like, a son. Like, I loved him. Like, I'm saying like a lot. But it's just seeing the prequels, Obi-Wan is just complimenting the heck out of Anakin. And he's being as much of a father figure as he can be. And yet Anakin's like, he's jealous of me. He's always been. Are you sure? Because he keeps telling you you're awesome. He's being the most, what's the word here? It's like, I guess it's the whole thing about just the sons just never appreciate their parents. Or kids never appreciate their parents. It's like, he is just he's always there for Anakin, and Anakin just doesn't see it. It's ridiculous. But you can see the theory of Obi-Wan and Yoda are playing the long game. And especially because the New Hope, where he sees Luke, he's like, alright, I'm gonna die right here to set things up. And then he does. Because he's got his plan. It's like, I'm gonna die here, I'm gonna send him to Yoda later, whenever I think he's ready. I need him not to die before that, and then we'll put him on the path. And then when Luke is arguing with Yoda and Obi-Wan, they're like, we're trying to how do we convince him to stay? Because we kind of need him to be strong to kill Vader. We're kind of screwed if he's not strong to kill Vader. It's like, we can't lose the game here, and they try and they fail. And the funny thing is, I think, is just the mistake, and that is, Luke leaves, and then Yoda's like, well, there is another. Oh, wait, he's going to go save that other one. oh, okay, it's a good thing he's going. It's a good thing. You know how amazing it would have been, just as a fan thing, as if Yoda left with Luke? Like, alright, I'm gonna go help. And then just how that would have changed things. But really, he kind of needs one of those two to survive. I'm sure Yoda could have beat Anakin. I don't believe he wouldn't have. I really don't. I think he would have won. I think he has the height advantage in that he can get around pretty easily and get him. Or he just, gets the high ground on Anakin. That seems to be the way to do it. Vader choking Yoda. Vader just choking a little puppet, and then Yoda's like, alright, screw it, and just chokes him back, and like, okay. Alright, okay, so that's it. I think that's everything. It's a good battle. It's a good fight. Next time is, of course, going to be Return of the Jedi. And then after that, Force Awakens. And then, I already forgot the name of episode 8, and I said it a minute ago. The Last Jedi? The Last Jedi, and then, what's the last 9's going to be called? Rise of Skywalker? So, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker. Like, that third movie could have linked into those titles, by the way. The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, to get some lunch. I don't know. So, or to balance the Force or something. But there we go. That right there is the video. And I really want to know what everyone else thinks about this. I really want to know. I'm really curious. Because I have my thoughts, but there's got to be at least someone here younger who's never seen these before. What do they think? Especially if they saw The Last Jedi for some reason without seeing these first. I feel like everyone's forcing everyone to see these before they see those, but you never know. That right there is the video. I have fun. Hope everyone watching. That's what Top Bowser is. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time. Oh, by the way, think fast.